So welcome to Health Information, Please, and we'd like to welcome back. I think this has probably turned into an annual visit as we start the new year to review 2018 and look ahead to programs at 19 with the Director of the Center for Health Improvement, also known as CHI, Stephanie Howie. Welcome back, Stephanie.
Thanks, Mike. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too, and good to see you once again. Nice to have you back again. Stephanie and I were doing a little math, and if we put our heads together earlier this morning, we finally figured out that the Center for Health Improvement is now 17 come February, right, Stephanie?
17, yeah. February of 2002, we opened our doors.
And Stephanie was the fitness director for the Center for Health Improvement from the very beginning. Worked at the center since they opened the doors in February of 2002. Stephanie has a master's in exercise physiology, a certified advanced health and fitness specialist with certified spinning or cycling instructor. See, this kind of information never leaves you. It always stays with you, Stephanie.
You always find it, don't you?
Oh, that Center for Health Improvement. We hear so many good compliments and good things about it, Stephanie.
Yeah, it's such a great thing for a community this size. And, the people that were behind this, the Cornerstone Group, has just done an amazing job. And hopefully we've lived up to the expectations of the community and provided programs and continue to provide programs as things excel and things change and, technology changes and trying to get, every age group and that sort of thing. So hopefully we're meeting that.
Well, and Stephanie, that's one of the nice things is it appeals to all age group. You have programs for young people as well as programs for seniors.
We do. We start obviously with our, we have a play center or a daycare, if you will, where you can drop your child off. And those kids in there are very active. We've got some activities for them to do, but let alone we work with the school districts, and we have early release days on those days that parents can't necessarily, take time off from work and stay at home with their children. They come to the center in the afternoon, and we have a snack and activities. We also obviously do some special activities. We do some youth training, and then, you just move the age bracket up. And, we've got stuff for the people in their 30s and 40s as well as, the older adults. And people, we've got people in their 90s that are exercising. So.
Let's run through some of the programs briefly, those who are members of the center. Well, let's start there with a membership. What kind of memberships are offered at the center, Stephanie?
Sure. You know what? This January, we actually have a special membership going on. So it's the date that you join. So what is today, the 12th? Mm-hmm. You'll pay $12 health enrollment fee. Tomorrow would be $13.
Wow.
So it's the day of the month would be your health enrollment fee. And, just to do that, you just have to come into the center and fill out some paperwork, and we'll give you a tour and talk to you about some classes and goals and, some stuff that you want and try to get you down your path that you want to go.
And does it need a physician's referral at all, Stephanie?
It does not. At this point, you can have one. If you fill out a questionnaire and we question a couple of things about your health, we will ask to get one. And that is not for us to get into your health information, if you will. It's just a safety thing. We want to make sure that we're getting you in the right place. And, if you are diabetic and we need to check your blood sugar and or, you have high blood pressure problems, when you incorporate exercise into that condition that you have, it makes a difference. And so we want you to be as safe as possible. And so in order for us to do that, we like to have that interaction with the physicians and yourself.
So if you'd like to join, if you're not a member already, you can join today for $12.
You can. Yep.
As simple as walking into the front desk there.
Yeah, and I don't want to mislead anybody. That's your $12 health enrollment fee, but then you'll have a monthly fee on top of that. So.
Okay. But that entitles you to what as a member of the center?
Yeah, absolutely. You get access to everything in the center, from, both floors of fitness equipment to the all of the group fitness classes that we have held there, as well as the aquatic center. So everything is available.
How upstairs is where the track is, the walking track. How long is that track?
That is 1/10 of a mile, so 10 laps. You can get your mile in. Obviously, on a day like this, it's a little hard to walk. So yeah, 1/10 of a mile.
Okay. And the different classes, there's no additional charge. Let's say, for example, if I'm a member and I want to do a yoga class or an aquaside class, any additional charge?
There is no additional charge. The only additional charge would be the amenities such as massage.
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple of massage therapists as well as a personal trainer if you choose to go that route. So.
And I was going to ask you about that because you have staff on duty that will explain the machines, explain the weight machines, the stationary bikes and such, and how they work and how it keeps track of your progress, right?
Exactly. You know, when someone joins, we like to say we do a pretty extensive tour, and then also the other option with that is we do a orientation or an assessment with you. Sit down and figure out what your goals are, figure out what it is that you like, things that you don't like, so we get you into the right classes or the right exercise. We also take you around to each of the pieces of equipment, as you had mentioned, and make sure that you're set up properly on those. There is some technology that is connected to those, so that allows people to track their progress, and then they can see when they go to that particular, say, weight machine, it'll say, hey, Stephanie Howie, you need to get your seat on 5 and your weight on 36, and I adjust the machine to those parameters, and it keeps track for me. And the other beauty is you can also do that with all the cardio equipment, is keep track of your progress and or track it, and we can print off a report, and you can take it to your physician if you need to.
That's a point, too, that many of the treatment modalities at HaysMed include a follow-up of a physical activity at the Center for Health Improvement, because physicians, the primary care physicians as well, realize the value of exercise.
They do, and that's the beauty of being a medical fitness facility. I think people think that sometimes we're just a gym, and sometimes we really don't like that name. We like to be called the Center for Health Improvement just because we are different. We have a really good connectivity with many of the physicians at HaysMed. Many of them exercise themselves, and obviously they know the benefit, and once they get several of their patients in there and they realize what they're doing, they're obviously sending that message to the next patient that they see, and so obviously it just trickles down, and that's the beauty of being right next to the hospital and being owned and operated by them.
Well, and one of those particular areas that involves not only physicians' input, but also our last conversation involved a walk with a doc on the fitness trail itself. Yeah,
I told Mike I was going to call in. I couldn't get in one day and to talk about Walk with a Doc, but we just started this program last year in May, and Dr. Rajewski was our first physician. We had 20 to 30 people show up. We walked at the fitness trail behind the center, and the whole idea with this program is just to get the community out walking and get them to know the physicians in their community and their specialties. It's also, I consider it a free appointment. I mean, if you've got some questions that you need to ask a doctor, and it's not your doctor or a specialist, it's a time to write those down and come up and ask, because you have their full attention. You can walk right next to them on the fitness trail, or this time of the year we usually walk upstairs on the walking trail at the center, and so people have really, really enjoyed that opportunity.
So that opportunity still continues, even though the weather is sometimes inclement. You do that upstairs on the walking track up there. Absolutely.
We have a new schedule out. Obviously, our next session, or our next walk, is January 26th. And that's with Dr. Jenna Sloan. She works in the Women's Center. So she'll be walking with us, and I would obviously anticipate, the months of January, February, March, possibly April, pending the weather. We will walk upstairs at the fitness in the fitness trail, and we meet in the education room at the center, and the physician typically will talk about a topic for 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll all go walk. We'll come back down to whether it's inside or it's outside. We'll all meet again, and if anybody else has any additional questions, the physician will usually wrap up the morning, and we have some snacks and coffee and water that's provided by the HaysMed volunteers. They make a generous contribution to help with this program. So, is there any charge for people to participate, Stephanie? There is no charge for this program. Okay, just show up, basically. Show up. Yeah. Okay. Family, friends, kids, anybody. It's It is a lot of fun.
And I see you've got a schedule for me. I'm going to keep that so that we can mention that. January 26th is the first one. What time do you start?
We start at 9 in the morning.
Okay.
Is usually the walk. We're definitely done by 10. I will tell you the beauty about this is you find that maybe, someone that's currently going through cancer is actually meets on the walk, maybe someone else going through cancer. There's such a camaraderie and there's a beauty to that, to be able to share your story and talk to someone that's going through the same, health concerns that you are.
It's called Walk with a Doc. The next one is January 26th. There's no charge. Just show up at 9 o'clock and probably at the Center for Health Improvement. And speaking of trails, the dog trail, although many people just come and walk the trail itself in nice weather. And when we were back in the 50s here, what was it, yesterday it seemed like, just a few days ago, people were really enjoying the walking trail, and there are several advantages there as well.
There are. If you haven't been behind the hospital on the walking trail, there actually is. It's a paved trail, and there's also a nature trail that cuts off to it. That's every year is mowed to a pedicure. And it's beautiful. It just gives you an opportunity to kind of feel like you're out in the country a little bit because you're not in the city. You don't hear the traffic. And, a lot of people enjoy it. I see a lot of different age groups out there all the time. You
can walk with pets if you'd like. They have pet stations for the pets to pick up their business if they are with you along the trail. And in addition to that, there are 2 different areas that you can select. You can go a long distance. You can go a different distance. There's a variety of ways you can go along the trail.
A little bit of hills are incorporated. You have a little bit of hill work. And right now, since this last fall, it's beautiful because it's like a lake back there. The water has not disappeared. And so it's you hear this water, like waterfall.
Yeah, so constantly flowing.
It is.
Where does that come? Is that a spring? I wonder where that comes from. But it has been flowing ever since we've been out there for sure. Stephanie Howie is our guest today on Health Information, Please, a fitness director at the Center for Health Improvement, which is now open and will be open until 6 this evening. Your Sunday hours, what are they?
We are open 10 to 5 on Sundays.
Okay. And if you'd like to become a member, if you're not a member already, you can sign up today for $12, and that will get you the monthly membership for this month of January, and then the regular fee after that. Now, speaking of fees, you have kind of a structured fee for individuals, couples, families, things like that, don't you?
We do. We have a primary membership. Obviously, that's the first individual on the list, and then what we call the spouse or the secondary membership. It's a little bit cheaper, and then each additional child after that is even cheaper after that. So everybody doesn't pay the same amount.
And it is a family-friendly location, so indeed the whole family can participate in that.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some of the programs. And we talked about Walk with a Doc. One thing that John Fitzhume has been involved with for the last couple of years that he started is something that also was very popular. And last time John was with us here at the last of last year, he was talking about the I Can Cook class coming back again this year, right, Stephanie?
It is. We just put a 2019 schedule together. It is on our website as well as I think posted on our Facebook page. But we've decided this year to go with the theme of using the U.S. ag commodities. Kind of as our theme throughout the year. Last year we had we kind of did a trip around the world, and we had Mediterranean meals and German meals and Italian meals and that sort of thing. So we went with a little different concept this year. So ag commodities include citrus, rice, honey, beef, olive oil, tomatoes, blueberries, and dairy. So how to combine those really good U.S. commodities within a meal that you can create that's very healthy.
And I know John has been a big proponent of local access where possible, and has linked up with a lot of the producers throughout the region to be able to provide some of those healthy choices.
He has. He's a great resource for this community, and has found a lot of ways to get others involved and in a healthy way as well. He's changed a lot of stuff at the hospital and the cafe. obviously, and made it healthier and made the service for our patients and our guests a lot healthier as well. Him and his team and dietitians, obviously, they're the ones that help put on this class for us. We usually have one every month at 6 o'clock, and it's usually the third Thursday of the month. So.
Still that same schedule then, basically,
still
from
that same schedule.
Years past.
Yep.
Okay. When's the first one?
So the first one is January 17th. If you haven't been to one, we have four healthy cooking classes, meaning that you actually watch the dietitian and she cooks while you're kind of watching. And then we also have 8 I Can Cook classes, meaning you have hands-on. The foundation at HaysMed, the HaysMed Foundation has been very diligent within this program, and we've written grants to them. So they're the ones that have provided us with the tools that you get to use when you come in and cook. So everybody's cooking. They've got their aprons on. We've got the fans on because the room has aromas. And, people are walking the center thinking they've come into the wrong place on a night like this. But when you are finished cooking whatever you're cooking that evening, you also get to just sit down and taste it. And I think people have just really enjoyed the camaraderie that develops in the class. And just, you can go with your spouse and have a great date night, if you will. And
take it home if there are any leftovers after the event.
Yes.
Okay, so the first one is when?
The first one is January 17th at the center, and we are going to talk about how to use citrus in your cooking.
Now, that is limited on space because of the cooking stations that you have.
Correct. We limit it to 18 participants, so we do have a sign-up on our website. If you go and you can find the I Can Cook icon and register. So it does, yes, we are limited just due to the space.
And how's the cost on that?
The cost for that is a $10 fee is required. That obviously helps us cover the food and stuff that you need that day.
And that's each time, right?
That's each time, yes.
And the nice thing about that, the way it was designed, you don't have to go to every one.
No.
You can just go and select whichever ones you want to go to.
Yeah, pick and choose. If, you're really into rice and like rice with a lot of your meals, well, we've got one in February coming up. How you can put rice in different. And it gives you an opportunity, much like Walk with the Doc, to just ask questions about cooking with a chef and or the dietitian, because the dietitians are always at these classes that we have.
We're talking with Stephanie Howie, who is fitness director at the Center for Health Improvement, about programs that are new to this year of 2019, and we'll be talking about some more on our Health Information Please program. We want to give you a chance to ask Stephanie questions, as we usually do. This is an information program. You don't have to give your name. But if you'd like to ask her a question about the Center for Health Improvement, about any of the programs, about fees, about the connectivity as far as your physician's recommendations go, or about any of the other programs that are available at the Center for Health Improvement. And even at that, let's say, for example, you're fairly new to the area. You've been in a community that had some programs at a particular fitness center or something that you enjoyed that maybe is not offered. Stephanie would like to have your input on those programs to develop, and they're always looking for new ideas at the Center for Health Improvement. So call us at 785-625-1114 if you have questions for the director of the Center for Health Improvement, Stephanie Howie. They are open now. Will be open until 6 today and 1 to 5 tomorrow on Sunday. And then regular hours through the weekdays, Stephanie.
Right. And correction, Mike, 10 to 5 tomorrow.
10 to 5. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yep, you're right. And we're open, regular hours.
Okay. And during the weekday, what are the hours?
We are 5 a.m. until 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and then 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Friday.
And there are people there at 5 a.m.
There are people there at 5 a.m., I tell you what.
It's amazing, isn't it? The response, the community, and the area, because you get people from some of the aquasize classes, they come from all around to attend those classes.
They do, absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about the Walk with a Doc, I Can Cook. What's next on the agenda you want to tell us about?
Well, I was just going to talk about, specifically senior classes or classes for older adults, because we are a facility, and I would say our average age of the facility is upper 40s, lower 50s is probably our average age, but we do see a lot of people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at those people because, they maybe have grown up in a generation that exercise wasn't a part of their lifestyle, and so it's very new to them.
Mm-hmm.
And as you had mentioned, they have really come to like classes because they meet new people.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these people may be widowed right now, and so they meet some really good friends, and they get to go to a lot of classes. And so, we do have a lot of classes based around the older adult population. One of those, as you know, is the aquatic center is really good for those individuals. So we do have a lot of aquasize classes. A really popular one is a 10 a.m. class Monday through Friday. We also have an arthritis class, some aquafloat classes, some I Chi classes, which is basically some Tai Chi in the water. And then alone, we also have some gentle yoga classes. We have a restorative yoga class, which is a chair yoga class. So you don't have to get, on and off of the floor, which can sometimes be burdensome for older individuals. And we also have a women's strength and stretch class, and we have a class that we called Strong and Steady that works on a lot of balance. So a wide variety of classes that we can offer for those individuals.
Well, that Strong and Steady class would certainly be a valuable addition to a daily routine, I think.
Yeah, I know the instructors work on a lot of like balancing on one leg and standing on kind of a uneven surface, but you're hanging on to something. And I've seen a lot of individuals that have gotten a lot of benefit from just working on that. And, stuff that we wouldn't necessarily do on our own every day. You're not going to go home and say, okay, honey, let's work on some balance. Let's get out our sheet and work on our balance. It doesn't happen. And so when you're able to get into a group fitness class, one, accountability. You've got some people that are going to be there and they expect
and they're going to notice when you're not there.
Oh, they are going to notice. And the fact that you can just have fun and laugh. And I think that's really important as we get older.
The social aspect is as important as anything else, Stephanie.
Oh, it's so important. I think, we don't look at that as being one of the big reasons why people join. And it's definitely not the reason people do join. They join because they want to get into shape, but they find that, wow, they've made some great friends. I mean, there's a group of people that I know go out to dinner once a month now. There's a group of 7 or 8 ladies, and they didn't know each other before they got to the center. There's a group that plays bunco. There's a group that plays cards. And, I mean, it's just the neatest thing about the relationships that develop from, exercise.
And, boy, that's probably certainly a co-equal benefit with the social as well as with the physical activities involved.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of that prescription, if you will, that's kind of, you don't need a prescription for it. It just happens. And you don't realize that it happens, and it's so good for you.
There's something about the routine, too, Stephanie, that whenever we get into a routine of fitness, that it kind of just builds on itself, and you miss it when it's not there.
You do, and it's hard to explain that to someone who, obviously this time of year, many people have resolutions and goals, and we get to this point, and they're like, oh, gosh, I just don't know if I can get up in the morning. And that's part of, knowing if you're a morning person or knowing if you're an evening person or what type of day. But, not giving up and finding that routine. And I guarantee you, once you get into it, I mean, at least 6 weeks, you are going to notice some change. You're going to feel better. And once you feel better and you don't do it, you're going to be like, gosh, I don't feel good. And you're like, what's missing? Oh, yeah, I haven't gone to, I've been going to the fitness facility or whatever. And so it really does become a part of you.
And if you're a morning person, there are morning aquasize classes. If you're an evening person, there are evening aquasize classes.
Absolutely. We try to, put things throughout the day, obviously before work or when people are getting off of work, or the busier times. We try to accommodate as much as we can for those age groups that we see in our facility.
All right, those are programs for seniors. Move to another area that you'd like to tell us about, Stephanie.
Well, Mike, one of the things I think that is really cool is possibly even for the older adult population is a new class that we are having at the center. It's not new in fitness, but it's called BARRE, and it's spelled B-A-R-R-E, not like just B-A-R. We just put it in our schedule this this January. And it's kind of a combination of Pilates, yoga, ballet, a little bit of strength training, but you actually hang on to a bar and do a lot of just, sculpting, I guess, if you will, posture, working on balance, that sort of thing. So,
all right, break those down for me. You mentioned Pilates, yoga, and the bar class. Tell me the difference, what's involved in those, just so we know our definitions here.
Sure. So from what I understand, and keep in mind I have not attended a class yet, we just started a couple of weeks ago. So from what I've seen and what I've understood and from the instructor, you've got Pilates, yoga, which are just slow movement things. A lot of stretching, a lot of holding poses for a long time. Again, working on your strength, working on your core. A lot of us just go through motions very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
But if we have to hold it for a longer time, we have that, we start shaking, oh my gosh, something's working. And so that's part of that. There's a little bit of ballet involved, from my understanding, and then also, little short circuits of cardio bursts. In other words, we may get your heart rate up a little bit, bring it down, but mostly a lot of core work, a lot of just holding poses, sculpting, flexibility, and balance, which obviously we all can use as we get older.
So the bar classes kind of incorporate a lot of the other things like yoga, Pilates,
Absolutely.
and so forth like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is done out of water, right?
This is done out of water. Yep.
Okay.
And right now we offer it Tuesday, Thursdays at 9:15 a.m. in our group fitness studio. So I know we'll probably add some more classes. From what I've seen from the instructor, I know we've had a pretty full room. So.
Okay, so somebody signs up. Is there a fee for this?
There's not a fee. Nope,
okay.
It's just one of the classes that's on our group fitness.
It's another addition then to the services at Center for Health Improvement. Tuesday, Thursday morning, 9:15 for about
50 minutes, I believe.
50 minutes,
so or 45, so it'll go right up to 10 o'clock.
Right up to 10, okay.
So then you can go to water aerobics class after that.
Yeah, that's right, because water aerobics is right after that. Okay, very good. A lot of those are incorporated so you can do multiple activities with one visit at the center.
You could spend the whole day out there. Have lunch at our salad bar, and
And I think some people do, based on what I've seen. But boy, the advantages of fitness and exercise and wellness programs like that are just every medical discipline that we talk to incorporates, if you exercise, you'll do a better job at whatever we're treating.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter if you have a chronic condition or you're the healthiest person. It's so good for you. And I can't tell you the benefits that you'll reap if you begin at a younger age. And that'll carry over when you get older. So I think it's just extremely important. But it's never, you're never too young to start or never too old to start. So.
Sign up today for $12. Your monthly membership then will be the regular membership charge after that. But for the month of January, you can access all of the features of the Center for Health Improvement for a $12 fee. Just go to the front desk for the sign-up availabilities at the Center for Health Improvement. They are open now and will be open till 6 this evening, 10 to 5 on Sunday, and then regular hours on Monday through Friday. Friday's a little shorter time.
Yeah, till 8 o'clock.
And for those who like those aqua-size classes, they have added, as a matter of fact, the last couple of months, I guess, you added that Monday afternoon aqua-size class, which was beneficial as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we've just found some members that maybe had voiced, hey, there's a lot of us that would like to do that. So, and we encourage that. I mean, we can't obviously maybe meet everybody's need, but we'll definitely take a look at it.
And if you want further information about the Center for Health Improvement, what's the website that we should go to?
You can go to HaysMed.com and you can type in /the center. It should get you right to the page, or just HaysMed in general, and then you'll see a link to the center. So.
And that will give you programs and times and such as
registration.
That. Registration.
You have to register for.
Okay, great. What else in the way of programs, Stephanie?
So we do have a new one coming up, actually March 9th. It's the first time we've done this, but it's going to be an indoor reverse triathlon. So get your swimming suit on and your biking gear and your running gear, I guess. But typically, a normal triathlon is a swim, bike, run. We are now going to do a run, bike, swim. So you're going to run first, then you're going to bike, and you're going to swim. But we're going to do that indoors.
Oh, okay.
So
in March.
In
okay.
March.
All right.
Yeah.
Probably appropriate for
Absolutely.
March.
So it'll be on March 9th. It's a Saturday. You will have to register for a heat for it. But what you'll do is, say, for instance, you run first, and the run is 20 minutes. So you will be assigned a treadmill, and you are going to see how much distance you can get in 20 minutes.
So you'll be on a treadmill.
You'll be on a treadmill.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And then as far as the bike, the same thing. The biking's actually going to be 30 minutes, but you'll be on one of our spinning bikes in our group fitness studio. And again, music going, other people probably, in the same heat as you, and you're trying to get as much distance as you can in those 30 minutes.
So you're just basically competing against yourself. Then.
You are, but then, based on your age group, you go into, at the very end, you go to the finals, and all the 20 to 29-year-olds get put in the same group. So you really are competing with other people that are in your age bracket.
Okay. Age appropriate then.
And gender as well. So, and then you have a 10-minute swim in the pool. And so, again, there'll be someone in there counting laps and distance for you. So, again, you want to try to get as much distance, as you can in that 10 minutes. Now, you don't have to be a proficient swimmer. If you want to dog paddle or back float or breaststroke or anything like that, I mean, we're not watching technique or anything like that. The other thing that's really cool about this is we have team events. You can do a 2-person team or a 3-person team. So if I'm a very efficient biker, but I'm not a good swimmer and a runner, maybe I can find someone else that could, join my team and be on those as well. So.
Okay. And when does this begin then?
You know what? We are actually putting a weekly workout together, actually, for people as well. And that workout is going to begin February 4th.
To prepare you for the triathlon.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the triathlon is actually on March 9th. It's a Saturday. And again, we start the heats, I think, start at close to 7 a.m. We have a 6:30 check-in, and there's different heats that you can get yourself into. And then we'll have people stationed in those areas and help them to keep track of your distance and all that. And should be a lot of
individuals, teams, 2-3 people per team. Kind of a limited availability on sign-up, or
no, not really. We kind of put a sign-up deadline as March 1st, just so we have an idea. But as far as no.
Okay.
So it's kind of new to us too, and we're kind of excited. We've done several events outside in the past, and we just thought, you know what, it's that time of year. It's before spring break. People may be kind of slacking on their goals and resolutions, and maybe this is something that'll keep them motivated.
Yeah, especially if you've got a team member that's pushing you along.
Right, and you have a program developed for you, and yeah, exactly. So.
If you're a member, any additional charge on this?
There is a charge. There is a $35 charge up until March 1st. After March 1st, it's $45. So whether you're a member or non-member, it's the same.
Okay, $35 will get you into the triathlon then.
Yep. And then with that, you'll get a T-shirt, and we'll have some post-race refreshments as well included in that fee. Okay,
and this starts what time?
It's going to start at 7 a.m. Check-in begins at 6:30 a.m. on that morning.
And as far as people that might have other obligations, what's your time frame on this for completion?
We're hoping about 10:30. Is when we put down to have an award ceremony. You don't have to be present to win, but that's kind of what we thought, just based on what we've done with triathlons in the past. Okay, so sign up at 6:30 and probably over about 10 or so. Yeah, and you at least have to be 13 years of age. I guess. Okay, age restriction on that one then. Yep. Okay, and further information available on the HaysMed website with Stephanie Howie, Fitness Director at the Center for Health Improvement. If we've talked about a program you'd like more information on, Stephanie's here to answer your questions at 785-625-1114. 785-625-1114.
1114. Lines are open. Again, health information, please. Brought to you by HaysMed is an information program. You don't have to give your name, but if you'd like to ask Stephanie a question about any of the programs that she's talked about or something that perhaps you've heard about or read about or seen, you're certainly welcome to call Stephanie now and find out more. 625-1114 if you're in the Hays area or outside the area, joining us on KVGB, Eagle Community Television, HaysPost.com, or the new iTunes and Google Play apps at 94.3 KAYS. 785-625-1114 is the number to call, and lines are open now. So we've talked about programs basically for all age groups. Have we missed anybody?
You know, Mike, I don't think so. I know we've talked in here in the past, or I know Carmen Winter has talked a little bit about our chronic disease program called Live Well. Mm-hmm. And I just want to mention that that's a physician-referred program for those people that are maybe newly diagnosed diabetic and or, going through cancer treatment right now, and exercise, believe it or not, is still important during that time. It helps you get stronger, and so we have a lot of physicians at the Dryland Cancer Institute that really believe in that program and have sent a lot of people over to exercise. Someone struggling with high blood pressure for the first time and understanding how exercise can affect that. So it is our chronic disease management program, a referral program from a physician, very, very popular type of program that we have as well.
I certainly hope many of the physicians in the area as well are aware of this program so that people can sign up.
Yeah, I think they are, and we've had a lot of good stories, and I think those stories are great because that physician goes back and tells another patient, and hopefully will continue to get them over their exercising. And it's a program that's supervised. It is a program that is an out-of-pocket fee. It's $75 for 12 visits, but I think it's definitely well worth it to get you started on the right track.
And it includes a whole lot of lifestyle input as well.
You are correct. During that time, they also see a dietitian to help them figure out, again, depending upon your chronic condition, what to eat and what's important to eat and what to avoid at that point. So yes, you do meet with the dietitian. We do a lot of assessments with you just to check your strength and endurance and stuff like that, so that you can see benefits at the end of the program. Physician
referral. It's called Live Well. Live Well.
Yep.
And $75 for 12 visits.
Yeah.
At the at HaysMed, the complex involving particularly the Center for Health Improvement.
Correct.
One of the things that so many of our healthcare providers tell me on the program is that prior to a procedure, surgery or something like that, if there is exercise involved prior to that procedure, the outcomes are significantly improved, Stephanie.
Absolutely. I'll give you a perfect example, Mike. We have a program called Total Rehab, and it's actually run by one of our athletic trainers, as well as we collaborate with the orthopedic surgeon. And so let's say, for instance, you're going in for a total knee replacement, and it's scheduled for February. He may say, you know what, Mike, let's get you started. You're going to come in a couple of days a week. You're going to work with our athletic trainers, and we're going to strengthen your quad and your hamstring, the muscles around your knee to get it stronger. So you go in for surgery at your date after you've been doing some pre-rehab is what we call it. You go into the hospital, get your procedure done. Many times, someone who has done some exercise before their procedure is usually sometimes dismissed even a day earlier out of the hospital because they are able to get up and walk with the physical therapist or whomever is walking them. They've kind of got their checklist completed, and they don't just need to stay there because they need to stay there. And then after that, obviously, you go to physical therapy, outpatient physical therapy. Many times we find that those patients actually knock off maybe a week or 2 weeks of physical therapy because they are stronger prior to going in. So there are definitely benefits for people before they go into a type of surgery.
And one thing I would add to that, from my visits with people who have had those procedures, whether it's hip replacement, knees, that type of thing, or even some of the back issues that have been addressed at HaysMed and the Orthopedic Institute, they are off pain relievers quicker.
Yes, good point. Many of the physicians are very proactive on, not necessarily prescribing something right away because you're in pain, but they go through a list of things. Have you tried this? Have you tried this? Mm-hmm. And one of those, as we've been talking all morning, is exercise. Mm-hmm. Is there a way? Let's try a different alternative instead of, going in and getting this procedure done right away. And in some cases it may need that procedure right away, but I think there are other alternatives to try to avoid that as much as possible.
And pre-exercise works for so many of the different areas of people that might be facing an event at HaysMed.
Absolutely. Before you go in, just even mentally it makes you stronger. Obviously, physically it makes you stronger. All of those things make a big difference in your recovery.
Center for Health Improvement with the Executive Director, Fitness Director, since its inception back in February of 2002, Stephanie Howie, our guest. Final chance for you to ask a question if there's one that's been concerning you about the Center for Health Improvement. Stephanie will talk to you right now at 785-625-1114. And once again, for any of the programs we've talked about today, some specific areas of interest, you can go to the website at HaysMed and / Center for Health Improvement? Okay, that'll get you there. And it'll outline the registration, the programs, even times, I assume.
Absolutely, times of when the play center's open, our hours of operation, anything that's going on.
The center is open now. We'll be open until 6 this evening. Actually, they open a couple of hours later, and part of that is because you've got to get staff there in these inclement weather situations to take care of people who might want to come in.
Right. Staff are really important for us, and they're one of obviously our greatest assets, and so we want to look out for their safety as well, and we just wanted to make sure it was light outside enough in order to get them there, and so we made the call last night to just open a couple hours later, and I think that's not only for the staff but for our members as well.
Speaking of staff, Stephanie, those staff members really do step up. There have been instances where, say, for example, an instructor in Aquasize had a prior engagement or something for their schedule that didn't work, maybe a sick child or something. And another staff member has stepped in to fill that void so the classes can continue.
Yeah, we do. We pride ourselves on a lot of great teamwork, and if we have the opportunity to do that and someone feels comfortable, we will step in. It may not be the best taught class that day, but sometimes the members don't care. They just want some movement going on.
There's still a social aspect.
Yeah, and many times, the members teach it themselves, so they tell the instructor what to do. So,
as a matter of fact, I think that's occurred on a couple of occasions when the instructor was not able to get in. The other staff members stepped up. So we've covered a lot of ground here, but once again, for further information, people could just come in and visit at the front desk.
They can. You're maybe not even the slightest bit interested in joining. Come in for a tour. Many people, I still find many people, even though we've been there 17 years, have never stepped foot in our facility.
Mm-hmm. Which is a shame because it is a vital part of the area as well as the community,
Absolutely.
I think.
And I may mention, also in our facility, if you haven't been in, we do have outpatient cardiac rehab, outpatient physical and occupational therapy. We do have the orthopedic clinic, of course. Southwind Surgical, our surgeons are located upstairs. And then we also have the Kansas Heart and Stroke Collaborative Group they're actually on our west entrance as well that have joined our team. And so there is a wide variety of people that are in and out of the facility every single day. They're not just members. They are patients, visitors, family, staff. So it's a really busy place.
It's good to know that that facility is available for us because it certainly is a valuable asset to the community. And indeed, the vision of HaysMed a long time ago to put this into place is really remarkable.
It is. I if I ever went anywhere else, I would probably never work in just a gym. I'm so used to the medical aspect behind fitness and the the strives and the benefits and the challenges, and yet the stories that you can provide for people and the difference that you've made in their lives is absolutely amazing.
Stephanie Howie, Fitness Director at the Center for Health Improvement, our guest today. Next week, we're going to talk about the HaysMed Foundation.